Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, hello, hello.
How's it going?
Woo! It's going. It's interesting what's going on here. It's
Mm,
great. It's a great moment, great period that we're living, and
mm,
yeah, we're in it.
mm, mm. Okay, so now I love the fact that you've been using the word we. A lot of people we interview these days say, I'm just here, I'm at home, or I'm doing my best. You've used the word we quite a few times already. So who
Yeah,
is we and what do we represent?
it's we as Black people, we as a Black nation. Whether you're Nigerian, whether you from Cameroon, whether you're American, it's we
Mm,
as one people, and it has been a struggle ever since the very beginning of slavery.
mm,
And this is really the fight that's continuing here to have equal rights. You know what I mean?
mm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I often consider myself as a we, because the struggle continue. When I come to Nigeria, I actually consider myself as a we as well.
Mm,
You know what I
mm.
mean? So I think it's important to have that perspective, because for for Black America to advance, uh, we pretty much need Africa to advance. You know what I mean? To get
Of course.
respect here, Africa needs to deserve respect as well. So
Right.
it's all connected. And if Americans gonna get respect here, down the line, Africans will get respect as well.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Now, I need you to
Yeah.
give us a kind of description of what it's like to be on the streets right there during these protests. Can you tell us what happens during the protests, how they're organized, and what they hope to achieve every single day when they go out there?
Yeah, I mean the protests are very different, depending on where you are. Right now it's happening in every single big city in America. I'm in LA, so I go to the LA protests. Uh, there are a few demands that the protesters are asking for, and it's extremely well organized. It's not
Mm.
just Black; it's actually mainly white people protesting, which is
Wow.
the big difference, to be honest with you. Because usually when you have protests like the Black Lives Matter protests, it's mainly Black people going out there and crying out.
Mm.
But this one is very different, and that is for a few reasons. First of all, we're still going through a pandemic, so
Okay.
everybody's at home. Everybody
True.
is
True.
is available.
Mm.
And then we had a series of events that happened leading up to the death of George Floyd.
Mm.
You had the kid that got shot by two men, while
Mm.
jogging. You had that girl from New York City, Amy Cooper, who called the police on the Black guy. And then the following day, you have George Floyd being murdered, and everything on camera.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
nobody can deny that there is a serious
Mm.
problem. So that's
Mm.
why everybody is backing the movement up.
All
So
right.
during the protest, the interesting thing that you will see, yes, of course, maybe 80% of the protesters are white.
Mm.
And when we get close to the barricades, to the police officers, the people organizing would actually ask the white people to be the first one,
Okay. To go to
just
the
so they
front.
can be a buffer. Yeah.
Wow. And does
Yeah.
that work? Does that actually work? That
It works. It
wow.
works. And you'll
Okay.
have chants saying white people in front, white people in front, white
Wow.
people in front, and they just go in front and they'll become a buffer. So,
And
we
so
have
are
a
you
sense of
saying
security.
that in simple terms, if the riots for any reason got a little bit more violent for any reason,
Yeah.
the police wouldn't go straight for the white people because they're in front? Is that
Uh,
is that what you're trying to
it's
say?
it's exactly as that video from the New York girl showed.
Okay.
I'm not sure that the police will just easily go against a group of white people the same way that they would go against a group of Black people. You know,
Okay.
the
Okay.
black image represents danger to some level. So when
Wow.
you have a group of Black people facing you, then you see the danger. When it's a group of white people, you think twice.
Wow.
Because those white people can be your daughters, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers. So you know what I mean? It's a touch different.
Mm, mm.
And
I'm so I'm really impressed at the way they've organized these protests and the fact that people are still going out day after day. You know, there have been some protests that begin and then they begin to fizzle out. Does it feel like any of this is about to fizzle out or about to calm down, or does it feel like it's is in full swing?
I'm not sure it's gonna come down as easily because first of all, because of the protestation, you know, we had a few changes already that happened.
Okay.
The first reasons why everybody went out, it was to force the 4 murderers of George Floyd to be arrested.
Okay.
So the first one got arrested
Okay.
after 2 days of protests.
Yeah.
And then we continued. 3 or 4 days later, they arrested the 3 other ones.
Okay.
So we continue, and now you have a lot of old videos that are that are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, all the injustice that takes place, you know, against the mainly the black people, sometimes some white people as well, but mainly the black people. They're all coming out, and the protest is also to try to give the police officers less power, you know, or to get more money into the black community, just so we can advance in our own cause as well. So there are many reasons why we have those protests, and I don't know when that's gonna stop.
Okay, so you know, I know we've been talking about the protests and what's happening now, but you did star in a movie that went back in history, Toussaint Louverture. Am I
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And that does talk a little bit about Black history for, you know, people that are tuning in and they don't know much about how racism basically started from way back when. Can you give us a little insight into your character and the role you played in that movie?
Yeah, I mean, Toussaint Louverture, for the ones who don't know that name, he's one of the heroes who helped Haiti fighting against the French army, against Napoleon Bonaparte, and Haiti was the first Black republic to actually fight and get their independence.
Wow.
That was back in 1804.
Okay.
So yes, I guess as a Haitian, you know, we've always been, you know, on top of the game, you know, trying to bring justice and equality within our world, and because I played that character, you know, there is always that sense in me, that feeling that, you know, I must do something, you know what I mean? Because it's when you play a character that important, that powerful, you know, it stays with you, even if it's just a little bit, but it stays with you. And I think sometimes that does drive me as well, you know, to go out there and to fight for the right cause, you know, whether it's for this particular cause or whether it's for even in your country right now in Nigeria. I know there are some people out there fighting for the sexual abuse, you know, and those are also causes that I fight for, and that's why, you know, not too long ago I did that movie in Nigeria with Kunle Afolayan called Citation, which deals directly with the sexual abuse, but in this case directly with sex for grade, you know, the abuse that some of the students go through, you know, to get the good grades.
Very true, very true. Okay, so there's so much happening, but then since you're on the ground in the US, I want to touch a little bit on the coronavirus as well, because you know, we haven't actually seen, and by God's grace we never will see, the number of deaths that actually occurred in the US. Now hundreds of thousands, you know, at least 100,000. Kept seeing that on the news, and you know, each of them was a person, each of them had a family, each of them caught it somehow. Could you give us a general sense of what it felt like being there when the heat of the crisis actually got to the US?
Yeah, when it first got there, I mean, it was, first of all, the US were a little bit late to act,
Mm,
and then we got to a point where we realized, okay, this is serious.
mm,
Then they just locked everything down.
mm,
Nothing was functioning. You could barely go out, and that stayed like that for a good couple of months.
mm,
And it's only recently, the last week or so, that things started to open up. Uh,
mm,
I, I don't believe that you can go to a restaurant still, or to a bar,
mm,
because everything is shut down. My kids have been going to school via internet for the past 3 months,
mm,
and it's just a new way of life, and we've
mm,
completely accepted it. uh, it's rough. It's difficult for a lot of people, because it's one thing to stay without work for 1 month, but it's another one to stay without work for 3 or 4 months. So the economy is definitely having a pretty big hit, but people have been extremely careful,
mm,
even though America has the highest number of deaths in the world. But
yeah.
people have been very careful. And funny enough, despite all that, you still see a bunch of people outside,
Mm,
because
mm,
what's happening now with the black people is way more important than the coronavirus.
mm. Okay. I like the way you put it there, more important.
Yeah,
But, there is that sense of fear.
yeah,
Um, that sense of fear, and being a father yourself, your children, protecting your children, from the, the, the protests getting violent, for instance, and of
yeah.
course the coronavirus at the same time. What sort of things have you put in place to make sure that the family is safe?
I mean, you can only do what you can do. You know what I mean? It's
Mm,
we've respected all the guidelines.
mm,
You know, as far as washing your hands, wearing the mask, and
yeah.
keeping your distance. Yes, we've not been keeping. I've not been keeping my distance lately. Because of the
Mm,
protest.
mm,
And I'll take the heat for that, because
mm,
I truly believe that cause is probably a lot more important than
mm.
than the coronavirus. And also I understand that the coronavirus is bad, but it's bad because it spreads a lot. But at the
Okay.
same time, if you don't have any other health condition, you can get it
Mm.
and be
And
healed.
all right.
So I'm aware of that as
All
well.
right
So
then.
it's a chance that one
Mm,
decides to take,
mm,
just to fight a different cause. But I'm extremely careful with that, and I understand what it means. Obviously, if I live in a place where it's five of us, then if one is affected, everyone can be affected.
true.
I'm also aware of that. So yeah, I mean, knowing the situation, uh, we do what is necessary
Okay.
to minimize
What?
the risk.
So, yeah, while you're minimizing the risk, I know that there are probably some plans for some more effective, well, I won't say more effective, some other alternatives to just protesting. There are probably some things that are being put in place to make sure that your voices are heard on other platforms as well. Could you let us into what else is going to be happening in the next week or so?
Well, I mean, the thing with you can protest many ways. You can do it
Mm,
physically. You can do it via social media. You can do it via speaking to other people. You can do it via donating money to some of the causes. I mean, there are so many ways to participate in any of to participate in the protest. So yeah, I mean, I decided to do it via social media, via
okay.
physically, and donate some money as well, and speak to some people to try to enlighten them. I think education is key as well, as far as understanding the history of Black people in this world. That's one segment. That's one element that we often forget. Who are we? How did we come about? What do we represent? What is our past? Who were we before slavery?
Mm,
What kind of books can you read? you know, and all that is, you know, is part of the protest, and I think education is key in that case.
Okay, thank you so much. I have to, you know, really thank you for taking our time to talk to us. I know you were probably working on some projects before all this started,
Yeah.
probably some new movies about to come out. But you did say earlier that, you know, it's hard to be out of work for 3 months, meaning you've not been on set for 3 months. You've not,
Yeah.
you know, gotten any new scripts. Probably not many studios opening either. So what
No.
can you tell us about work post-COVID and post-protests?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, I do get a few scripts that are around on my table, and we'll see when we have time to shoot them. It depends on the guidelines from the government, the guidelines from the business as well. And I don't know when we're gonna start. We're talking about July potentially, and after that we'll see. But yeah, I've not been working, but you know, I'm okay. You know, compared to some other people, you know, I'm doing okay, and I'm waiting for the scripts to keep coming, and more importantly, I'm waiting for the situation to really get better so we can go back to work and not getting sick, because it's difficult to shoot a movie without getting close to people. You know what I mean? You know, how are you gonna do your action scenes? How are you gonna do your love scenes? How are you gonna actually interact with people? So you're gonna have to wait for the guidelines, and insurance is a key element in the equation. And insurance is not gonna insure a movie if they see that there are risks of people getting sick. So, you know, it's like, yeah, it's all that
Okay.
people are thinking about.
So we know you to be an actor, but I have a feeling you have a few business ventures on the side that you work on. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe some ventures you decided to go on during the lockdown as quickly as possible. What have you been doing while you were locked up at home? Did you take any of those seminars and courses and things like that everybody's been doing?
No. I've not done any of those ventures. I don't know which ventures you're talking about, to be honest with you. But
okay.
But no, the thing that I did a few Zoom conferences. You know, for example, there was one that reunited all the cast of Heroes.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's like a convention, but we did it online. So things like that. But otherwise, you know, it's been a lot of professional Zoom meetings, and I also give you time to just breathe a little bit as well, because the reality, an actor doesn't work every day. An actor doesn't work every month. Sometimes I could spend an entire year without working, because that's just how it is. So, you know, you take time to just read, time to come up with new projects. You know, there's a movie that I'm working on right now called Mother Water, and we're pushing it and trying to find money for it, and trying to attach distribution company to that movie. So, you know, you stay active, but, you know, I'm not on set. That's the only difference.
All right then. Okay. Now I know you probably have some things you need to get to right now, and you are joining us. What time is it over there, by the way? What time is it now?
It's 8:22 in the morning.
8:22 in the morning. Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
still early
I
for
know
me.
you're
That's why,
just
you know, I
starting
look
your
on.
day.
Yeah.
It's just starting your day. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very
so
much.
we're going to be looking out for you. We're definitely following all your posts and tweets. And
Yes,
so thank you for talking to us.
And your way, you know, there's that movie Citation that's coming, you know, directed by Kunle Afolayan, with Temi Odetola, you know, myself, and Joke Silva, and Ini Edo, a bunch of people that you guys know.
So you're going to be coming back here for the launch, possibly, when that finally happens.
Yeah, that depends on travel restrictions, you know, but that's the plan. The plan is to come over there for big premiere, but we'll see.
All right, then. Now we can't wait to see you if and when you eventually get back to Nigeria.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Please stay safe and keep doing what you do.
Thank you very much. You too. Stay safe. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
All right then. Bye.
Yes.